Are you ready for it? Look what we're doing today. Round glitter nails. I am so in love with round glitter. And these nails, let me tell you, they are so sparkly and bright and they feel like a lot, but when you have them on your hands, you will feel like a Broadway star. They're amazing. And you have to consciously try to not get hit by a car because you will be constantly looking at your nails. I never got sick of it. And I love the ruby red, pink, magenta ones. I felt like I had the ruby red slippers on my hands. And I'm going to do them on my hands again. So I might break this up into a couple of videos depending on how long this gets. I'm going to start out with the simplest one first, which is just going to have a transparent background, and we will get into the cat eye background ones. So we'll get into how to do all of these. That being said, let's get into it. And just for the record, this is my workspace cleaned up for you guys to do tutorials. I have to work with all my stuff around me, so whatevs. Okay, I'm going to start off with the simple one. Now, my two different methods for these nails are basically because of my comfort level with wondering if the gel is actually fully curing when we are using opaque-ish glitters. Even though there are lots of companies coming out with gel polish with these large, not transparent glitters right now, and they are just, showing it as a polish you just put on and you cure it. I'm just not sure if that's fully curing under there. So I'm just going through all the variations I've done. They're all amazing. The holographic glitter is the best. I love it the most. And all of these I am pretty sure I have gotten on Amazon. And I will have links, of course, per usual in the description to the glitters, etc. And you'll see there's 3 different sizes in the packets, but there's usually not enough of the tiniest size. So I've found packages that are all just the tiniest round size that pretty much correspond to most of the glitter colors. Okay, we're going to do the ruby red magenta ones today because they're still my favorite. So I kind of like to decant, if you will, the package of glitter into a little flatter container so that I can pick at it better. And that one came in a set of about 6 glitters in packages like that. And then these are some of the other separate glitter sets that I got on Amazon. And we have a really great selection of those, the tiny round glitter. So you can find something that's going to at least kind of match the larger sort of multi-sized packages. And not all of the tiny ones are holographic, but some are. And so we do have a good holographic match for the pink. So doing this nail is simple. We are just using a clear builder gel and mixing in the glitter, and then we're going to smear it on the nail. But I really only like doing this method if you're doing it on a press-on nail, because since we're kind of smearing the glitter on, I really want to be able to flip that nail over and do a cure on the backside just to make sure it is curing all the way. And if you would like, you can go ahead and do like a translucent, transparent syrup coat that is sort of similar to the color. I don't know if you really need it or not. I do it, but the blue and the sort of champagne colored one, I didn't do that on. So it's up to you. And that's just number 99 from Yogurt Nails Chewing Gum Syrup Collection, which is a really great rainbowy collection. And I know I said you just smear it on the nail and that's it, but obviously there's a little more involved in that because we need to do some placement. You can get the initial sort of getting the glitter on there like this, and there's a couple different ways. Like you could mix it on this palette. I'm going to do this. You could also put builder gel on the nail, kind of sprinkle the dry glitter on there. But once you get that initial sort of getting that glitter stuck on there, we then have to still go in and kind of use a toothpick and hand place stuff to get the nail to look nice and have good coverage. And in fact, the next time I do this, I may do the method I just said where I put the builder gel on the nail and then sort of sprinkle the dry glitter on there. I kind of was liking this at first because at least it's coating the glitter somewhat with the polish, because this glitter does want to repel the polish, but it kind of clumps up. So I don't know, you just play around with it. It's not like this is difficult. You just kind of have to find the method that is the least irritating to you. And that's always the interesting part about these, seemingly simple nails to me, is there's still a methodology that is going to work the best, and you just have to figure that out by trial and error. And you also want this to be a workable nail that lasts on your fingers. So that also plays a part in part of what I'm going to be doing here, because I learned some lessons the first time I did it on my own hands. And we just start smearing the glitter on there. And of course I'm pulling my classic. My phone doesn't want to focus on the nail, so I've had to pull the small parts that were in focus. But I'm just playing around with the gel. I'm just trying to disperse it on the nail. And you will find you need to work with the contours and the shape of the nail as well. The larger pieces you need to kind of arrange down the center spine of the nail, and then as the nail is getting towards the cuticle area, you can kind of have, maybe 3 in a row going across, because you want the glitter is flat and stiff, and so you don't want it sort of peeking up at an angle so you have the edge showing. So you do have to pay attention to that, which is why you need the 3 different sizes of glitter. So at the tip of the nail, you are going to be putting the tiny little pieces, and then those medium sizes are great, for the in-between areas, the transition areas of the curves of the nail. And the smaller ones, again, all along the edges. So that's where we have to then start hand placing stuff to get that really great glittery coverage on the nail. Basically, we are having to copy and rebuild the curve of the nail with a series of tiny flat shapes. And some of those shapes are larger, and so they only fit certain areas. Otherwise, you're not going to have a curve anymore. And then to be able to get a smooth, rounded top coat, the nail is going to be so thick, because this is going to be a slightly thicker nail anyway, because it's encapsulated glitter. There's just no way around it. And you can't just file it down, because it destroys the color of the glitter, and you will suddenly have these sanded looking silver points everywhere on the nail. So that's why we have to take the time now to kind of keep everything contained. And if you'll notice right now, this is something else that starts to happen. It's glitter. It's a shiny surface. It wants to repel the gel. So if you are having that happen, you want to try to pick up a little gel, see if you can get that gel to sort of come together again. And then as soon as you have it at least better and not have large pits in it, just go ahead and cure it. And you'll notice I'm just sort of tippy tapping around with that toothpick, because once we cure it, we can't move that glitter anymore. So I want that glitter sunk down. I don't want edges sticking up, etc., because you can't do much about it later. It just means you're going to have to build up everything around that point. And now I'm just going back in with a second layer of builder gel, not top coat. This is the important thing I learned in my first round on myself. Everything wants to peel away from that glitter. Top coat is not sticky enough to keep it there. And once you have any lifting, I had a couple nails where it just started, the whole top coat thing just started peeling off. So especially if you're having a lot of areas where that builder gel has wicked away off the top surface of the glitter, you really need to go in with a final layer of builder gel before we do top coat. And this is what I mean by you need everything in order before this point, because look, I tried to just file a little bit of the weird shape on that side, and I already nicked the edge of a piece of glitter. And now I've got this silver chink going through on the side of that nail. So you need to be very careful if you are going to try to file something afterwards. Okay, and now we are ready for our top coat. I decided to use a thinner one on this particular nail because my nail was already fairly smooth and I didn't feel like I needed another thick coat to even everything out. And I generally like to try to keep the nail as thin as possible. And here's why I'm comfortable doing this method on a clear press-on nail, because now I can take that off the stand, stick it on backwards, and now we can cure the backside of it. And that just makes me a little more comfortable using these types of large glitters. And that is our finished nail. And again, I recommend this just for press-ons that are not on your hand. And I should clarify further, I mean a press-on that is clear and that at the most only has a transparent syrup gel on it. And in my next video, I will go over how to do this if you are doing this on your or someone else's hands and you have cat eye gel and you're not going to be able to cure the back side of it. And I'll try to get that second one up a little quicker. Okay, bye.